Yes, we are.
Are we really live?
No.
No.
We're not live.
So we're going to be live at
See,
when?
go live.
Oh, go live. Okay. Go live. Now we're live. Going live.
No, we're currently going.
Yeah, now we're live.
Currently
I
going live.
fucking hate YouTube. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, I'm the concurrent viewer. Don't want to mess up the algorithm. Better take that off. Okay, so we watched the second episode of Game of Thrones. Season 8. A Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Now,
so before we get to that, I want to kind of superpower hour. There were some things that we didn't address from the last episode that didn't really make sense.
Lightning round!
Alright, number 1. Dragons eat whatever they want, except they only eat cooked meat in Season 2. Jorah and Lyanna Mormont didn't get a scene, which is amended by this episode. How did Theon know Euron wouldn't be on his boat? I don't know. How did Cersei find out the wall fell when it took Bran to let them know it Winterfell and they're closer? How does Dany's hair remain straight while flying a dragon? Remember how Tyrion blew up Davos' son and he has nothing to say about that? Remember Sam?
They talked about that in... There was an episode where they made a joke about, last time I was here, I killed my father. Last time I was here, you killed my son.
Oh, I think he'd be more mad about it.
No, he's alright. He's already over it.
Okay. Sam says Dickon was his older brother, but if he was his older brother, there'd be no reason for him to join the Night's Watch. Also, how did he not find out about his father being murdered when he was journeying back through his homeland from the Citadel? And then, remember when Tyrion and Jaime were blonde? No.
Also, the last thing that we talked about after the episode last week was...
Yes.
How is it that the Night King... So here's the wall. Here's Last Tarth. Here's Winterfell.
Yeah, basically.
So the Night King goes from the wall to Last Tarth.
And so he's past Last Hearth.
So then he's past Last Hearth, but then Dolorous, Ed, and Tormund go to Last Hearth, and Barrett and Darian says, that's a message from the Night King.
Well, and so here's the thing, is the army that has to be far enough past Last Hearth where they wouldn't run into Tormund and Dolorous Ed, because otherwise... What? So, because they were, far past it. And I guess since they have less people, they're moving faster, but in the past seasons, they've shown the Army of the Dead can run really fast. Yeah. So I think it's literally just because...
So it's a message from the Night King.
Yes.
But it's for whoever's going behind them, but they're going forward, they're not moving. They're not stopping.
But don't you know, the writer of the episode said that, I think it was Dave Hill, he said that it's the Night King taking a Children of the Forest symbol and doing it as a satanic perversion of it.
So is it Beric misunderstanding?
No, he didn't misunderstand. The Night King literally just left that up so that when he went back, he's like, look at what I did. It's literally just his emo art project. That's all it is.
The Night King is not a character, and everybody who even remotely defends him, even if it's just turn your brain off, it's just a cool force of evil, shut your face.
Maybe they're lying to us and he actually will have a character, and you just don't know.
No, because we were talking about it, because before this episode, because we were determined that A Night of the Seven Kingdoms would be the episode, not the book by George R. R. Martin. Different thing. They just had to take the books that are either in existence or haven't been made yet and just call episodes that.
Yeah, they called that one episode The Winds of Winter, and that made me mad.
Yeah. The last episode we called Dream for Spring. You know for a fact.
Yeah, and then the second to last episode will probably be called Time for Wolves.
Yeah, because fuck you.
Because fuck you.
I lost track of what I was going to say. Shit. I lost it.
You were saying,
Fuck.
You were saying the thing we determined.
Oh, yeah, this episode would be a battle with the Night King. So we rewatched, right. There's a video on YouTube where someone compiled all of his scenes together. And boy, watching them, back to back really shows you how, he's not a character. So to make it clear, we watched, this compilation that was all the Night King scenes, and it was, 30 minutes long. Yeah.
And it included, the bits where he just appears in a flash in a vision.
Yeah. Doesn't actually say anything. But yeah, it really shows that he just sort of, is there. He's not,
So, I think the thing that was, the big thing was that we determined that, his only character traits are that he likes to scur people.
Yeah,
and he's,
real bad.
And he's kind of, he, dicks with people, and he's kind of just angry.
That's about it, though.
That's about it. Because,
yeah.
Again, rewatching that scene where he kills Viserion and not Drogon, who's right in front of him. And I was like, well, you think that if you wanted to scare them, he would ground their only means of escape and then slowly come towards them. But he purposely fires at something that's thousands of yards away as opposed to something that's 100 feet in front of him.
And you can't make the argument that, he just wanted to, spook them, or you wanted them to get away, because then he fires at them anyway.
Yes, he fires at them anyway, and if he wanted them to leave, he wouldn't have thrown the spear. Yeah, so it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and he's just he's bad character. He has no motivation other than, I want to kill everything because I do.
Well, he killed, the last season, season 6, he kills all the children of the forest.
Yeah, who you would think that, like, since if they made the Night King,
right,
and they made all the whites, or the others, or the White Walkers, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
And then if he killed the Leaf, the one who made him specifically.
Yeah.
Into this monster, and he wants revenge for being made into a monster.
Yes.
After killing Leaf, wouldn't he be like, sweet, and then go home?
Well, here's the thing: is that you look at it like this. He was a man who was at war with the children of the forest, so they're his hated enemies. So he's a man.
Yeah.
So at the time, he was presumably somebody who like agreed with the men against the children of the forest, and he was captured by them and turned against his will with dragon glass. And again, I don't get how like you use something that was made by fire to make a White Walker, but what the fuck do I know?
Yeah. That's pretty great.
But anyway, so he gets made by the children of the forest into this weapon to fight men. So you would think that'd be like against his will.
Yeah.
But it's never specified like if he was under their control or if he broke free of their control. Because if they made him so if he was made as a weapon against the men, did he go along with it, or did he just go, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you all? Because I think in the show they do this thing where like the war with the children of the forest and the long night were like concurrent as opposed to like. So I think what they were saying is like he turned on the children of the forest, and it's like, okay, well then if that's the case, why does he want to kill mankind? We didn't do anything to him. If anything, we were trying to fight against the things who made him what he was. So it's very weird. Like, I don't understand his motivations, because they're telling us that he's a guy and the great other isn't a thing, because that's in the books. Like, unless they're implying that he's kind of being manipulated by the great other, which I'm not sure if that's true. But anyway, yeah, that was just some stuff. But
sorry, I'm posting a link to places if you want to watch the episode.
But but
you know.
So anyway, Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
So at last episode,
yeah,
we said the words, we're gonna go into this season not wanting to hate it.
Yes.
Going with an open mind and open hearts, because the show has had quality in the past. And even in 5, 6, 7, which we think are the weak seasons, there are still things in there that are like in a bubble good. Like,
sure.
There's still episodes where like, oh, this is great. Like the loot train thing. That battle was good, because their battles are pretty great, because they're solid at making battles now. But but we kind of went into this basically thinking that, like, okay, if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. We'll be non-biased. And last episode we dogged on it pretty hard.
We did.
But this episode, I will say,
was really fucking
good.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy, because like I don't want to hate anything. Like, I don't want to be the grump. I want to love everything. I want to be able to enjoy everything. And like, there's people that I talk to, but like, they're so like in love with Game of Thrones, even the bad stuff. And I'm like, wow, like you can, like, that's amazing that you just like enjoy. And then like, I wish I could enjoy. And this episode was actually well written, well acted, and well shot. And it's kind of because this was a
bottle episode.
It was a bottle episode. Where
if you notice, there was no dragons.
No dragons.
There was White Walkers only at the very end.
The very end. Like the tail
There
end.
was no King's Landing.
Nuh-uh.
There was no ships. No Iron Islands. It was all in Winterfell.
Yeah.
And it was just characters talking and actually like thinking about what had happened to them in the past. Like,
which the fact that we're so surprised that it happened shows that how bad the rest of it is.
Well,
the fact that like now we're like, oh wow, characters are having like scenes where they talk about their problems and their issues.
Or like they were like talking about shit that had actually happened before.
Yeah.
They were like there was people going like, why the fuck does the Night King want to come after you, Bran? He's like,
I was marked.
Or,
I have all of the memories of humanity, and if I die, then like the past dies, and that's what death really is.
Yeah.
Which is sort of in line with some, because I've been I did want to reread A Song of Ice and Fire for this new season, but I'm holding off from the reread till the next book is announced. Yeah. So instead of doing that, I decided to read through George R. R. Martin's bibliography, and have been pounding on a lot of his short story stuff. And this is actually kind of a theme that comes up again in a lot of George's work, is forgetting and people dying and being forgotten. So it felt really in line with everything. I think we made a joke that like this might have been one of the things that George talked about in their little powwow.
Yeah, that bit where he that speech he gave about like being forgotten as like true death. I'm like, I feel like that could have been like an actual like segment that George wrote before.
Seriously, it felt really good.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was like, and like people like because last episode we made the critique that everyone sort of like spouted cool lines at each other and no one actually like asked questions as to why. And this episode
nobody like called each other on stuff.
But this episode they did.
Yeah.
It was that first scene. So first off, it opens with Jamie. And we all kind of groaned because we're like, oh, okay.
We thought they were going to, like, skip over, like, a bunch of the actual stuff that would need to be discussed before the plot proceeded.
Yeah, but no, like, that first scene really, like, we were watching and we're like, oh, fuck.
This episode really just cared about, like, how the characters developed.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's Bryan Cogman, and from, like, what I've been able to see is Bryan Cogman actually, like, remembers what happened in the previous seasons and, like, not just the generalities. Like, he actually goes, like, no, the Siege of Pike was important. He goes, no, like, all this shit is important, you know? Like,
these things matter. These characters have histories and relationships with one another, and they actually have things that have happened before. Like, in this episode, Lyanna Mormont and Jorah Mormont have a conversation.
Thank God.
Holy fucking shit. Thank God for that. They actually talk, like, Podrick has lines. Brienne has lines, since she took breaks from shooting episode 9 of Star Wars. Which was great, and like Jamie was there, which added some nice conflict, which was like really well handled. Where Sansa's like, you know, like going with whatever logically makes sense, while Dany's like being like a petty emotional bitch.
I think Dany's the only character who's still kind of like, she's kind of the worst character right now.
She's the worst character. That's easy to say.
She was better in this episode. She tried to like have this scene with Sansa where she was like, "We're girls." So like,
oh my god,
that was probably the worst scene, but it was good because Sansa was like, because Dany's like, "Well, men are easily manipulated," and then she like admits that she was easily manipulated, and I'm like, "Oh, so
like, okay, sure."
But like Sansa was like really cool headed and going like, "No, like you know, I forgave Jaime, so like you know, fuck you, and I trust Brienne," and basically said like, "Oh, you like being a bitch to Tyrion, like." Stop, like it's really like not helping anything.
Yeah, because like they're really harping on the whole, oh man, Tyrion believes Cersei. Oh my god,
it's this weird thing where I think like again because they made Tyrion so perfect, and like even though I killed my father and my former lover, I'm a good person. Like even though they did that, and they're like, you're the smartest guy ever. Then they were finally like, oh, we actually need him to have flaws, so there's conflict.
So Tyrion,
and so they were like, he just believes Cersei, and it's like, why?
So yeah, I'm gonna have a good equation for this in a moment. Let me just hit this at you. So like Tyrion's been fucking up since like season 5, pretty dumbly. Like he's getting dumber and dumber and dumber as, you know, because
I would say it started in season 6.
Yeah.
Season 5, that's where the era where everyone was saying how smart he was and he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah, and so like because for anybody who doesn't know, they pretty much entirely cut his plot from the books and the show. Yeah. So they had to make a kind of invent a new plot for him. And so he essentially, like, makes all these weird mistakes that you're like, Tyrion wouldn't say this, Tyrion wouldn't do that, this is really bizarre. And then...
But let's be fair, they do that with a bunch of the characters, too.
And then he makes this one mistake with Cersei. And all of a sudden he's, like, a fool, everyone's belittling him for it, Dany's questioning his leadership skills, and I'm like, this feels a lot like what happened in Batman vs. Superman, where in Man of Steel, Superman makes all these mistakes and is out of character.
Yeah.
And then in BVS, they're like, oh, he messed up with this one thing, so...
That happened at the beginning of this movie. And it's like, wait, but what about everything in the last movie? Well, we're not really as concerned with that. It's more like attacking an African warlord who was clearly, like, a bad person.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, okay.
It feels like that, right?
It does feel like that.
It feels like that.
Well, yeah, because it's what's interesting to me is that it's like... Is that like so? No, you know what? I lost it. It's gone. The point is that it's like
it's really weird that like everyone's harping on Tyrion for this thing and not everything else.
Yeah, Yeah, it is quite odd. I know there was people doing theories like Tyrion's actually going to betray everyone and he wants the Lannisters to retain the throne or something, and I'm like, that's not going to happen, and I doubt it's going to happen now even more.
Big doubt.
Because he's clearly just like, oh, you're right, I fucked up really badly. And it's like, okay. Alright. But speaking of, this episode got me to laugh very, very hard.
And more than one occasion.
Like 3 times at least.
We laughed.
Yeah.
What were the jokes? So the first joke was, so first of all, I will say that the show sometimes does things better than the books. Not always, but I do love show Podrick more than book Podrick.
Book Podrick's not even a character.
Yeah, show Podrick is great. So, but it's a bit where like he offers him the, like, do you want some wine? He's like, yeah. And Bran's like, no. All right, half cup. And then Tyrion like fills it to its overflowing and does he does the Peter Dinklage face, which is the best face.
Yeah, there was that. There was Tormund's story about the giant's milk, which was
it's all funny. The reaction shots where everyone's just like different forms of disgusted.
Yeah, it was really good. And then I know, well, it's so hard to go through this episode because there's so many, like, every scene was good, pretty much.
Every scene was very good.
Like, the only scene that wasn't the best, and it's just because Danny trying to, like, go, we're women, and men tried to tell us we couldn't rule, and I'm like, but...
Being a woman in power is they're very tough, right, Sansa? Sansa's like, I mean, everyone loves me, so fuck you.
No, Sansa's just like, being a ruler in general is very difficult, yes. She's, like, an actual, like, political leader, and Danny's like...
because Sansa thinks about things. Sansa's like... Okay, that's cool. How do we feed all these people?
Yeah, no, I love Sansa. Like, she's
like Danny's been on this arc for 8 seasons and has not learned how to rule. Well, Sansa's been doing this for like a year and is like, I got it.
Like, what does Danny actually learn? So she's learned that so slavery and taking down slavery in a society is complicated.
But even like not to the fullest extent because they cut out half of it. But yes.
And then
go on.
She shouldn't be afraid of her dragons. She should embrace them.
Right.
She learned that.
She has to be fearful. She has to inspire fear. No one take her seriously.
Yes.
Now, is that a good lesson?
Well, characters don't have to grow in like a good direction. They can grow in a negative. But like Danny's kind of one of the more static characters. Whereas like regardless of how I hate how they had to include the rape subplot with Sansa. Like, they just had to keep that in.
We couldn't have Jane Poole, because who's Jane Poole?
But they had to have... So they were like, we're going to give Sansa her... Like, regardless of how I feel about how they handled that, at the very least, Sansa, like, measurably has changed. Like, from season 1 to now, yes. Sansa's changed so fucking much. And then I think Danny, like... From season 2 to now, not really has changed.
2 or 3, yeah.
Yeah, 2 or 3. Like, I'll say season 3, like, because she did Dracarys in season 3.
Dracarys is the moment where Danny becomes static.
Yeah, because that's the moment
that's her last big, yeah.
She's this badass dragon lady, and then she pretty much stays the same till now.
Mm-hmm. Like,
she loves Jon, but even the show's kind of like, yeah, it's weird how she just kind of blindly loves... I know, like, the point is, like, the things we do for love.
Yeah.
Still.
So yeah, this episode had a lot of like just little character moments that were like really interesting and great.
Like let's briefly try to like.
Let me pull up the wiki.
Because there's so much. So like kind of going through the first scene is basically Jaime on like the brief trial period where, everyone's and then like it's great because like Jon's like, hey, we need every man, and Bran's like, I vouch for him, and Sansa's like, all right, then I vouch for him.
Yeah, which is pretty good.
So like that was great, and like Bran doesn't tell everybody what he did because he's manipulating everybody.
Yeah,
and
it was good.
And Jaime's just kind of like freaking out, and that he's kind of coming to terms with the fact that he's not the Golden Lion. Well, he already came to terms with that, but he's like, yeah, I'm probably gonna die. But he's like, yeah, like Cersei lied to me too, and I said screw her, and then Tyrion rightfully says, yeah, would he really like come here if I love how on the wiki page the plot just says at Winterfell because there's no other locations.
Yeah, that's it.
Like there was that bit, and then what was right after that?
Jaime's brought in trial, so blah blah. Oh yeah, that's when Jaime.
He goes to the Godswoods.
Yes.
Yeah, he goes to talk to Bran.
But before that, they have a scene where Dany's all like, Tyrion, you suck, and Tyrion's like, I know I suck. And that scene's over, which kind of was a little bit of a groan. Because they have to hammer home that Tyrion made a mistake, guys. Did you get that Tyrion made a mistake? Holy fucking shit, I get it. Thank God this episode resolves that fucking, like, thing.
Yeah, there were so many bits in Season 7 where, like, his battle plans didn't work, and it's like, no, but you trusted Cersei. And it's like, but either way, like trusting Cersei doesn't mean anything, because she just didn't send her army. And we lose nothing by, like, leaving her there. Like, this would have been the case anyway. But the point is, then the next scene is with Jaime and Bran in the Godswood. And Nathan was here watching it with us. He had to go to a dentist appointment. But he was here, and we were, like, watching him. We're like, oh, shit. Like, we've been waiting for this.
This is juicy.
This is juicy. And then, like, it was just really good.
It was good.
And, like, pretty much every scene, we were like, oh, shit. Like, is the episode gonna go bad? No. It's still really good. Like,
yeah, they have a conversation where like, they're both not the people they were before, and because of what Jaime did, they both are now different.
And that's necessary.
And it's necessary to do what has to be done. And Bran's, like, really actually kind of logical about this, where he's like, yeah, like, you know, if you didn't do that, I wouldn't be a fucking magical tree wizard.
To be able to save the world, and, you know, if you didn't do that, you wouldn't have gone on your journey to become a good person.
And Bran's like, and so I don't care anymore that happened.
Because he says you weren't sorry then, but it makes sense. You know, you're doing it for your family. And I'm
like... And I love that bit where Jaime's on trial, and he's like, yeah, I did everything for my family, and I'd do it all again. And everyone's kind of like...
there's a half second where it's like, don't say
And he's like, we were at war. This is what I believed. I was fighting for what I believed in. But now we have a zombie army, and we should stop that.
Yeah.
Jaime's the character who's like, we need to stop these zombies. Like, this shit. Oh, and I love the. I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit. There was like a council meeting where they're talking about how to like draw out, because you know Jon's going off of Beric Dondarrion telling him, there, kill him. They all fall down.
He raised them all.
Kill him. And so then they're taking that approach of like, all right, well, like, the way to win this battle
is just to kill him.
Is to kill the Night King. Because we kill the Night King, they all fall down. And then Jaime's like, but he won't show himself. And then I think we all laughed and we're like, yes, he does. He does it all the time.
Yeah, no, Jaime's like thinking like an actual strategist. He's like, oh, well, he won't show himself if that's the case. And then they're all like, well, no, every time he's just been like right there.
Yeah, Jaime's like thinking logically. He's like, oh, like he can't. Like, a wise leader would never show himself in the battle. And they're like, well,
he kind of doesn't care.
He kind of just does it though.
He's just there. He's just throwing spears.
He's just tossing spears and
using his axe,
showing his big dick.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, no, that scene was really funny, especially because like Bran was like, what I forget the line he specifically said, but he basically said like, yeah, like the Night King is coming for me, and then Sam just kind of looking at him, he's like, why? Like it was so funny because it's like for the first time people were like, Bran, what the fuck is going on? Like, for the first time, they're like, why do you have psychic powers?
And in that scene, Tyrion's like, I want to know why. Bran's like, that's a long story. And Tyrion's like, I can fucking wait.
Yeah, I would have liked to see that scene, but I guess, like, it would have been a lot of recounting and Tyrion making bad jokes, so I kind of am glad that they didn't do that.
But still, it's nice that they show that, like...
people are actually communicating.
Someone asked him why, and then Bran is telling them. Now, while we don't see that, and I would like to see that, the fact that, like, someone asked... and it's happening, even if it's off screen, is great.
Yeah.
Because, like, when Bran just dropped the three-eyed raven thing and everyone just sort of, like, is, like, looks okay.
Yeah,
I'm like, does everybody at the Winterfell get, like, sit down, like, listen, okay, so Bran's a cripple, you might know that, but he's also a magical tree wizard. And he went into the north, he met Max von Sydow, and...
but before it wasn't Max von Sydow, they recast.
And then it was Max von Sydow, and then he showed him the past, and no one asked where Hodor is, because who cares? And...
but another thing is that I think Sam was the one who was like Bran says this really bad line in season 7 where he's like, I'm the Thread Raven, and then Sam just goes, what's that?
Like, I don't know what that means.
I don't know what that means.
Sam is the most consistently great character, no matter what. I love Sam.
And then...
yes. Then there's a scene where Jorah is like, hey, Dany, I think it's stupid that we're picking on Tyrion all the time. I kind of dragged his ass across Essos to be with you.
Yeah.
And I don't like that you're disrespecting my
homeboy.
My homeboy here because I hate him, but also like he the smartest boy in the room.
Yeah.
And Dany's like,
and she's like, so the guy who basically took your position, you're advocating for him, and he's like, yeah.
Well, yeah, he's the best person for the job. I mean, would I like the job? Yeah, but like, you know, it's like when Will Smith was like, nah. I'm not the right pick for Neo. I think it should be Keanu Reeves.
He didn't say that. He just said he wasn't the right fit.
In my head, he did.
In my head, yeah, he was like...
In my head, he just brought Keanu out of a little trunk.
Yeah. And then I think after that is the, is that the Gendry? The first Arya Gendry scene?
After that is the pure sexual tension scene.
Yes.
Where... Because you know, like when you're reading Clash of Kings or you're watching season 2, you're like, and Arya and Gendry getting together to be like so pure and great. And then this scene, like Gendry's like covered in like soot. He's like rippling fucking muscles, and Arya's like,
yeah.
She's like, I want that fucking dick, and she kind of like intimidates him a bit and shows how powerful she is, and they actually talk about like the White Walkers, and like
it was a good scene of
Arya like
her like asking him what it was like, and he's like, no, like it was scary, don't. And then
like, that shit sucked, and Arya's like, I bet, I don't care, I'm the best.
I'm the best. They're good, but I'm the best, man. And it's just like, and so they're setting up the fact that that you know they're gonna fuck.
They are gonna fuck.
Episode because we saw there was like brief nudity in this episode, and we're like, wait, what?
Who? And then
who?
And then later on they Arya shooting arrows like in episode 1 of season 1.
Yeah.
And Gendry comes in. Arya questions him, teases him about him having sex, and then she's like, well, we're gonna die soon,
and they actually bring up the plot line with him being taken by the
Brotherhood.
Oh,
dude, they mentioned that twice this episode.
I was like so
amazed. It was so great, yeah, because
I was like, wow, you guys totally like, and she even mentions, she doesn't explain why, but she even mentions like, yeah, you were on my list for a while. Yeah, and I'm like, well, good, you admit that you took it off.
Yeah, somewhere. To Beric Dondarrion.
Yeah,
I was
like, what?
Because there's this video that we love where it shows Arya's list evolving over the course of the show and how she'll just like drop people without explaining why.
Yeah.
And Beric Dondarrion and the Brotherhood Without Banners.
Yeah, it was Beric, Thoros, and Melisandre, and then she just drops them from her list like around season 5 or something.
Yeah, and there's never like a reason why, and then in this episode at least they bring it up like, oh yeah, on my list for a little while. And I'm like, you didn't tell me why you dropped them from your list, but like at least you said that you did at some point, and you acknowledged it as a thing that happened. Is it weak? Yes, but like Bryan Cogman is just like
no, he's trying to like threat. He's like, no, trust me. Like I'm steering the ship. I'm gonna try to make this work.
Like Bryan Cogman is Donald Glover in Community walking and everything's on fire, and he has to like put out as many as he possibly can in like an hour and 8 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing is like I wish Bryan Cogman had just written the rest of the season, to be honest. Like, because if it was like this level of quality of writing, then I'd be like, oh, that's fine.
It's not. I mean, like episode 1 was pretty not good.
No, it wasn't good.
It was just mediocre and not very well written. It was very pretty.
No.
No?
I still hate the color palette.
Oh, yeah.
It's really dull and not
well
fun.
shot. Even though the color palette's pretty bland at times.
Yeah. And like, after that, I think... when does Theon arrive? Does he arrive after that?
I think you have the list right here, and you're really not even looking at it.
No.
Are you just ignoring it? Okay, let's see.
I think the scene
after that is a scene where Dany's all girl power.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Then it's Theon.
Then Theon shows up.
And so it's funny because in the in the books, Theon and Sansa don't do the whole escape thing. It's Theon and Jane Poole. Yeah. And so and then I was watching the show, and Sansa's all crying over Theon. I was being back. I was like, "What the fuck? You should hate him." And then I think one of you reminded me that
I was like, "No, but she had the Jane Poole," and you're like, "Oh yeah."
I like forgot that in the show it was different.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it's right." Yeah.
I'm just glad that someone finally showed Theon some like affection and like care for the fact that he's done shit for them. And
someone hugged him.
I was like, thank God. I mean, and like based on the end of the episode, I think they're implying a Theon Sansa connection.
Yeah, that was a bit weird because like
it's a bit weird, but
because Theon. I know that like no, Theon's very much older than her.
Yeah, but
yeah, by a good bit.
Gendry's older than Arya,
but not as much as Theon and Sansa.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How old is Theon?
Gotta be at least in mid-30s, right?
The actor, but is the character in his mid-30s?
Well, I don't know about the characters anymore because it's been like 2 years.
So the way you do it is like Theon is about the same age as Robb. So whatever Robb was in season 1.
Okay.
Then you go off of that.
All right.
So I don't think he's supposed to be that much older.
I think he just looks terrible.
He just looks terrible.
Shit.
And like the actor I think is like about 30. But we can't go off that.
So Theon, so it's funny because Theon shows up all of a sudden after the last episode. He's like, I'm gonna go over there, and then now he's here, and then we got into a screaming match for like a good 20 seconds.
What about how he got there before?
Yeah. You were like, why is he here?
I mean,
it was so funny
because like King's Landing, the way it kind of makes sense, even though like the night. So like okay, the way you figure that is how long between episode 1 and 2. Nothing. Yeah. Right? And then Tormund and the others get back. So, I mean, you have to... There's some form of teleportation. Either Tormund and them teleported, the Army of the Dead slowed, or the ship teleported. Somebody got... But it doesn't matter. It's whatever.
And I think you made the joke of if they had stolen Euron's ship, the Silence, it would have made some sense because it's the fastest ship ever.
Yeah, Well, that would have made sense.
But he probably didn't.
No, he did.
But I'm glad Theon's here. I'm glad Theon's getting affection. I'm glad Theon's getting scenes.
And he's gonna defend Bran and the Godswood with the Ironborn, so they're all gonna die.
Yeah, so they're gonna die. No. Theon defending Bran is like a good way to die, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a good way to because of the season 2 shit, and also that gave me feels because in Dance of Dragons, the book, Theon spends like a whole ton of time in the Godswood. So I totally can see like in like the final book or something, like Theon defending Bran and the Godswoods. I think that might actually be like a George thing. Yeah. Because like Theon hasn't really had a relationship with the Godswoods in the show. No. So the fact that it's in the show now, even though it's to defend Bran, I think like the fact that that's where it is, like I think that might be a thing that's in the books.
Same. Yeah. Yeah. Then the War Council happens, which is we kind of talked about already.
Why? Why? And then I love how they didn't forget about the mark that the Night King left on Bran, because I was so worried they were going to forget about that shit.
And it came back. Bryan Cogman saving Game of Thrones one scene at a time.
Yeah, that's his job.
And then we get Tormund, Beric, and Dolorous Edd showing up.
Yes.
We get jump scare Tormund.
That was really funny.
Tormund and Bronn are characters where like, I'm surprised they're still around, dude.
They're around just because they're memes.
Yeah.
Like that, and to be honest, like I know people love him, but that's kind of why Sandor's around.
Yeah, Sandor's a meme too.
He's kind of just a meme, but like then whenever he fights the Mountain, that'll be when he's like, oh, I'm a character again.
Yeah, because I think we have the prediction of like episode 3 and 4 will be dealing with the Night King, and episode 5 and 6 will be dealing with Cersei, and in the end.
Yeah, I think what it'll be is episode 4. Because episode 3 is the battle. Episode 4 will be like, we figure out the White Walker shit, mostly. And then 5 will be kind of wrapping up the King's Landing plot line, whatever's going to happen with that. And then 6 will be, we literally have to show, well, they're going to kill a bunch of characters, but the characters they don't kill, it'll be like, we have to show like the end of time from Doctor Who, like all these scenes of like where everybody ends up.
That'd be great.
So, that's what I predict.
And then... So then we get... So I was on Twitter last night on my way home as the episode was airing or whatever, and I was posting something else, and I saw things go by my feed about Missandei and Grey Worm having to deal with racist Winterfell people.
And it was like 10 seconds of children.
And having to deal with racism, and how like everyone's like, oh man, I hope Winterfell burns because all these racist people in Winterfell. And I'm like...
It was 2 kids.
And it's 2 kids that got up and they ran away because...
They're foreigners.
They're strangers.
They don't know them.
Yeah.
Like, Winterfell, everyone knows each other, but it's like, racism. What?
No, they weren't. They were not racist. Because in my head, I was like, oh, are they going to do a thing where, like, someone, like, tries to pick a fight with Grey Worm because he's black or something? But no, it was literally just, like... They even say in the first episode, not to, like, defend this show, but to defend...
not to defend the show.
But to defend this show, they say, like... Oh, Winterfell doesn't like strangers, and they don't like a foreign army coming into their lands and taking over everything. So if you're a stubborn people who doesn't like foreigners, or people who are not your own, who don't know, coming in with weapons and shit.
Hundreds of years ago took over your lands and made you part of their kingdom.
Yeah. Plus they got dragons that, by the way, they still remember, was it Lord Roderick Stark? What was his name?
Roderick?
No,
I don't remember.
Who was Ned's dad and Ned's brother?
Rickard.
It was an R name.
Rickard Stark, I believe.
Rickard Stark. Yes. Got killed, burned alive by a Targaryen. So here comes a Targaryen and this is her army. of foreigners. A foreign sell swords, by the way. I know we kind of forget that the Unsullied were like mercenaries.
Yeah, it was weird when you point that out. There was more vitriol towards the Lannisters than Missandei and Grey Worm. They were like two kids, whereas like people were like spitting in Jaime and Tyrion's direction. It was like, oh well, that's more racist than this.
Everyone who's saying that they're being racist, I think you're projecting.
No, that's not true. You just
not
need to. You that's not true. You need to stop.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Radical thinking here.
No.
I think you're projecting.
You're wrong.
So they have a very nice scene. We talk about how they want to go back to Narth, and
so one of them's gonna die.
So they're gonna die. Because literally it's like writing 101 where it's like we give a character a goal, a stake to lose, and then we kill them.
Especially right before a big battle.
Especially Grey Worm, who's like I love Jacob Anderson, but like you're gonna die, son.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's lasted this long, to be honest.
I am fucking really surprised.
I'm surprised that like he didn't die and embarrassed and lived, but they wanted that romance, so.
Yeah, they wanted another romance.
Yeah.
What's next?
I think it was
just Sam, John, and Ed
have the bit on the wall.
They talk about the
Oh, wait a minute. Was the scene with Gilly and Davos before that?
No, it's after.
What?
It's coming up.
But they were on the wall and it was nighttime.
Oh,
and their scene was in the day.
I guess that scene was so unimportant to this overview they didn't even mention.
You're relying on the list too much.
I am.
You need to rely on the memory. But
I have memory.
But so there's a scene where like Davos and Gilly are on screen, and there's like a little girl who kind of looks like Shireen.
Because she has like a facial scar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to fight too. And then Gilly's like, I feel real safe with you fighting out there. And Gilly is like, the actress is clearly pregnant again. Or no, she's clearly pregnant for the first time because on the show you saw her when she was pregnant. And now you see like what someone looks like when they're actually pregnant, where like they have a full face.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's why you were in
like
episode
she looked legitimately pregnant. I was like, wow.
And Gilly's baby actually aged for once.
What the fuck happened to Gilly's baby? They finally resolved that.
Okay, well, no. It aged slightly in, like, season 6 or something, but it was, like, so little aging, given that they say this is taking over, like, 7 years.
But now Gilly's baby is Gilly's kid.
Yeah. No, I'm still calling it Gilly's baby. And now she has
little Sam. Or whatever.
I thought the kid is little Sam.
I don't know, man.
No, the kid is little Sam.
Yeah, but maybe this one's also little Sam.
Oh, little Sam the second.
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah, so that scene happened, which is interesting.
I always love seeing Gilly because her and Gendry were on Skins in the season 1.
Oh, that's right.
So I love seeing them because I love Skins so much.
Yeah.
That's a good character piece. If you ever want to watch Skins seasons 1 through 4, don't watch 5 and 6. But poor Dakota Blue Richards, is that her name?
I don't remember.
Yeah, poor her. She gets a bad rap on that show.
But then I think, we do get that wall scene when night's kind of falling, when everyone's starting to get drunk.
Yeah, the drinking! I love the drinking.
Yeah, so everyone's getting drunk because they're like, well, it's going to get real cold.
Yeah, and everyone's having great lines and talking about, like, the past and shit. It's great.
The Hound, like, gets to be vulnerable for once.
Yeah, the Hound's vulnerable and telling Arya about stuff.
He tells an actually funny joke about throwing Beric over the wall and exaggerating how many times he got brought back.
Beric is just great because I
love
Beric.
I could listen to Beric sermonize about the Lord of Light for like hours and I wouldn't mind. So
Me
fuck
too.
you, Hound.
Me too.
Because I wanted him to say like, no, the Lord of Light protects and our flame in the darkness. And then Arya shows up and says, I don't want to hang out with you miserable old shits. And then she immediately goes and fucks Gendry.
Yeah, which is awesome.
It was good.
We get some side boob.
And some, what do you call that where it's just the top of the ass?
Plunge grab?
It's the best I've ever seen.
No,
but it was so funny because we were all like crossing ourselves like she turned 18 in 2015. She turned 18 in 2015. It's
that was a good scene to see, like, Gendry and Arya. And also it's great because Gendry mentions the whole, I'm not Baratheon's bastard. And Arya's kind of like, well, this makes it even work even more.
Well, no, because not even that. She asked, like, so what did she want with you? Like logical questions of, like, the last time I saw you, some fucking weird priestess was kidnapping you.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, she wanted my blood. And then it's like, oh, the blood. The leeches. Oh, she wanted the king's blood. Oh, because I'm Robert Baratheon's bastard. And it's like, look at that. Like, the way, like, when you structure dialogue, like, so it flows together.
Yeah, it actually
crazy. Works. Like, it makes sense.
It's really cool.
Like, it's
That's how you should write stories.
I was just watching it, and I'm just like, wait a minute, there's... The fuck's... What is it? Am I, like, really caring about, like, all the characters but Danny? What the fuck is happening? You know what I mean? It's like, it was really good.
Then the drinking turns into a scene where...
yeah, because it's...
They keep coming back to the drinking.
Yeah, because more and more people show up, because it's like Tyrion and
it's kind of like a sitcom, honestly.
It is kind of like a sitcom.
Like it's like the apartment set in Friends, and everyone's coming in.
Tyrion and Jaime are there.
Yeah.
And then Brienne and Pod come in.
Yeah. And then Davos comes in.
And then Davos comes in. And then Tormund comes in.
Yeah. Which is a great group of characters to have in a scene together drinking.
Yeah.
Like, if you told me in season, 3, oh, by the way, the second episode of the last season is going to have these people in a room drinking together and having a fun time, I'll be like, are you fucking high?
Yeah.
But it does work, actually. It does actually really work. They talk about how women can't be knighted, about tradition and all that, and then Jaime's like, all right, well, let's knight Brienne.
That was a great scene.
Which is a great scene.
Yeah, that was a... And if that's the end of her character, cool.
And she becomes a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which, for anybody who's learned in the ways of the books, there's a theory that... So, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is a book by George R. R. Martin, which compiles 3 of his novellas, which are called the Duncan Egg books. It's about Duncan the Strong?
The Tall.
The Tall. And Egg, who's Aegon Targaryen, the whatever.
Yeah, he's like the
he's in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But it's set about 100 years before Game of Thrones. Like Walder Frey's in as like a little baby.
Yeah.
And
he's like 90
to show time, right? And yeah, it's basically these like kind of like short stories about like just them adventuring the Seven Kingdoms and doing things. It's a really good book. You should really read it.
It also foreshadows a certain character, Bloodraven, the three-eyed crow.
Yeah, because Bloodraven shows up as well, and he's super great.
Oh yeah, he's a great character.
And so like, and there's this theory that like his Sir Duncan the Tall is like this huge lumbering great fighter, and people kind of theorize that like Brienne is an ancestor of his somehow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Other way around.
Yeah.
And this episode is kind of cool that A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is about Brienne when there's that theory of... Because for people who... Yeah. I know it's crazy to think about nowadays, show watchers, but back in my day...
Back in my day.
Jon being a Targaryen was like a crazy theory of like, okay, listen, if you put these things together, R plus L equals J, it makes sense. Like if you go back to like... Watch Alt Shift X's video about it. You can see how we were like theorizing.
I don't know. I feel like it was a crazy theory, but it wasn't. It was definitely like the most.
Well, it's not as insane as Euron and Dario are the same character.
I really wish that had been the case. That would have been a good twist. But anyway.
But it is a theory. It's still a theory. It's still a theory.
George just doesn't do it in the books. He's
I
like,
would be very happy.
He would just go like, no, it was actually Dany. Dany was the son of Lyanna and Rhaegar. Because I know that's actually kind of got some traction at some point. But
yeah, so it's
why
did I go off on that tangent?
You were talking about like Brienne being
so it's kind of so I'm wondering if this is sort of like Bryan Cogman giving a nod to this like
I think it might be
fan theory.
It might be.
But either way, like a good use of that title, even though it's not about Sir Duncan and Aegon Targaryen.
It fits. It fits. It definitely fits. It's not like I don't know. Like, the last episode was just called Winterfell because they didn't know what else to fucking call it.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, whatever. But yeah, so we get that, and then, like, it's... You get that emotional scene, and before that you get Tormund, like, telling the story of why he's called Giantsbane, and that he's sucked at the teat of a giant, and then he just, like, has his horn, and he's just gulping, and it's clear that in between shots they refilled it, so that it's, like, even more. So it's, like, impossibly, like, full. And, like, then you get a scene that's like basically Return of the King where Podrick sings, and I quite liked it. Kind of montage leading into the crypts with Jon.
Yeah, no, like,
and again, as I was watching, I'm like, oh fuck, like I actually care about everyone except Dany.
Like, I give a shit right now. Like, this is great.
What? And like again, I'm the guy who's literally been on the hate train for this since like 2015 at least.
Yeah,
I've been on the hate train for this, and then I'm just like, oh shit, like this is really good. Like this battle is actually going to be pretty emotional.
Like this is compelling. I care for these characters right now.
Yeah.
It feels weird after like so long of like being much.
I feel it because I don't trust like that. I feel like the next few episodes might be really terrible because this is Cogman's last episode.
I think so. Yeah.
Writing, and not that he's just like a god, but this episode was basically him going like, "Hey, I'm gonna try to keep you invested." But if like the next few episodes are bad, it'll be like, oh.
At least we got that one episode.
Yeah, but if they're good, like the next episode's kind of hard to mess up because it's a battle episode, and there'll be a lot of emotional, like Bran's defended by Theon in the Godswood, he dies.
Yeah, because their battles are pretty much always like great. Yeah. Because again, there's not a lot of time for lines, so.
Although you do get battles where like Bronn has to choose between a bag of gold and shooting a crossbow at a giant dragon, so that's kind of bad, but yeah, on the whole, pretty good. But anyway, no. So we're in the money. Come on, my honey. Yeah, and so the episode just everybody's kind of like stealing themselves.
Hold on, wait a second.
What?
You're missing things.
What?
So, Sam gives Jorah Hearthsbane.
Yes.
And being like, hey, listen, like your dad taught me how to be a man.
Because he didn't take Longclaw.
Yeah, and so now here's the sword to defend the realm, and Jorah's like, we're bros, Sam. It's great. Then we get the scene in the crypts after the music, where because before when they talked about when Sam told Jon you're Aegon Targaryen, Jon was like okay. When Jon tells Danny's like, but how do you fucking know that?
Yeah, yeah, but like what? How do you? Isn't that convenient that like your brother and best friend are the ones like telling you this? And he's like,
yeah.
I mean, when you say it like that, it sounds like a conspiracy to replace you, but I swear it's not.
And she's all like, that means that you're the rightful...
But I don't get why they don't just marry.
It's
so dumb. Like, for the last two episodes...
You could tell there's a moment where Bryan Cogman was going to fix it, and then Dan and Dave came in and was like, no, we have to have the conflict.
Yeah, because like in the last episode, like there's that kind of bad scene where Davos says the line, "A proposal is exactly what I'm proposing," and it's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
But where he's like, "Yeah, they should marry," and I'm like, I thought that was like the plan. Like they're already fucking.
Yeah.
They're both like they both kind of want their sovereignty. Why not unite the North and the South?
Like this is what like every like medieval lord immediately thinks about.
It'd be like, oh, we're fucking. We're allied. We have mutual foes, the White Walkers and Cersei. And there's a succession issue. Why not just get married and share the rule?
You have a kingdom, I have the North, we'll join our houses.
And, like, it's weird that they don't, like, immediately just go to that, because it's like, well, that would be the logical... Dany's all like, so you have a claim to the throne. I'm like, why not just get married, and it's fine. Targaryens married their sisters and brothers, and, like, you guys are...
all the time.
And nephew, so it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. That's okay.
Like, it's just weird. Like, it's probably the only other scene in the episode where I'm like, I get it. You have to, like, tease it, and then just one of them will probably die.
Yeah, probably.
Do you think they'll kill Dany? Or Jon?
Do I hope so that they kill Dany?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think they'll kill Tyrion, unfortunately.
No, Tyrion might live.
I think Tyrion would make sense. Could Bran die? Because, I don't know, like, the way the show's positioning is, like, he's gonna die. But he's the bait, so they might... Again, that's why I think, like, Episode 3 is gonna be, like, this huge battle, and it's gonna end with, like, him getting to Bran and the Godswood. Yeah. And then that's when you have the conversation. I can't see this not having some sort of communication.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? He's about to kill the memory of man, and then Jon just comes out and, like, slices him down, and then he, like, looks kind of upset.
Yeah.
Like that, like the Night King and Bran I don't know if they're just gonna get the actor out of makeup and like psychically he's like in human form talking to. You have to have some kind of conversation. You have to like it. Mm-hmm. It's not satisfying if it's just like he wants to kill the memory of man and you have this ancient man who wants to like strike back against that which he hates and destroy the world. You can't have that and then just go, yeah, I'm the bait, and then just yeah. Looks like Nathan's back, so we should probably wrap this up.
Okay. But overall, very good episode. I'm very impressed with the fact that
this episode,
a show that I I believe has been on the downward spiral for 3 seasons, all of a sudden has a solid episode through and through with very few problems that I have.
If the rest of the season could be this level of quality, I will rule this season as a success.
Yes.
And I will rule it as, like, having been, not worth, but, like, a successor to what I view as the Good Thrones.
Seriously. Because this is all a lot of good things.
Do I think it will? No.
Well, because I doubt the rest of the season will be as good as this episode.
No.
I think that the next episode will be the battle and it'll be great.
Because you got to resolve Euron and Cersei,
Jesus
and that's not going to be good.
Jesus fucking Christ!
It's just not. There's going to be
forget about Euron.
You just know that Euron and Jaime are going to fight, and it's going to be really bad. And like Jaime's going to like say, "I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for me," and then
yes,
that's what's going to happen, and it's going to be But I think if they do the the White Walker stuff good, that they won't fuck up the thing they've been building up since episode 1.
So we only have so much time to wrap this huge story up that's like so big and complex.
Yeah.
We have this little itty bitty bit of time to actually like get it.
I'm willing to bet 5 characters die next episode.
Oh, characters have to die next episode.
They can't.
They have to.
They have to.
Who are we betting? Do you think
Grey Worm?
Grey Worm will die.
Grey Worm will die, probably defending Missandei.
Yes.
Dolores Ed probably will die.
Ed will probably die.
Because
they have that scene where we're all like, remember Pip and Gren?
Yeah.
And now it's just 3 of us.
Now it's the 3 of us. I'm like, so now there'll be 2 of you.
Yeah. Okay. The second like anybody mentions it, it's like, what are you dead?
I think Jorah will stay around. I think
Jorah might live because they just can't bring themselves to kill him off at this point. They have had so many opportunities.
They gave him grayscale if he lives through that.
They gave him fucking grayscale. Like they just can't kill him. They just love working with Ian Glenn.
I think because I do. I think Theon will be the big one at the end of the episode.
Theon will die protecting Bran.
Of course, and it'll be beautiful and great.
And he'll have a completion to his character where he started off betraying the Starks, now he's defending the Starks, and he dies defending them.
Yes.
Good job, thank you.
Yeah, and because he killed Bran and Rickon, but
I don't know which one of them will die, but either Brienne or Podrick will die. I don't think both will die, but I believe that one of them will die.
I think Podrick will live.
You think so?
He will carry on the legacy of Brienne, and he will become like as good of a fighter.
At the same time, though, can really kill a woman who's a warrior, who's strong and a powerful female character.
They had Sansa get raped in season 5,
but she didn't die.
They killed the Dornish.
No one cares about Dorne. They're all dark skinned.
So
no one likes them.
We can't kill a white woman.
You can't kill a white woman. She's in Star Wars,
and she dies in them every episode.
She really does.
No, Brienne's gonna die. I don't know. Again, like some of these, I don't know if it's gonna be immediately next episode. It could be like the next 2, because I could see like Cersei like somehow killing Brienne or something. I could see Brienne fighting the Mountain, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So Sandor can't die.
Sandor can't die until
Beric will die though.
Beric's gonna die. I think Beric. I have this weird suspicion Beric's gonna like somehow end up in the God's Woods with Bran, and they're gonna have a conversation about the Lord of Light, and then Bran might say the Lord of Light isn't like really like a god, it's more of an idea and like a force, and he'll go,
I'm an idea.
Yeah. And he'll go like, yeah, but it doesn't matter because like it still represents life. And
do you think that in this next episode, at about the 42-minute mark, all of a sudden Ships from Rashai will arrive with Melisandre?
Melisandre's gonna come back to in the battle with the Night King. Fucking 100%. No. I don't care what you say. Melisandre is totally coming back with the Shy Wizards. Otherwise, they would have just killed her. They wouldn't have had her leave.
Do you think next episode will be called like Lord of Light?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know if it will be called Lord of Light. It'll be like they already used the Winds of Winter. See, I would have saved the Winds of Winter for this episode.
Yeah.
For episode 3, that would have made sense. Because yeah. I don't know what it's going to be called, but their battle episodes are,
Oh, the next 4 all written by Dan and Dave.
Yeah.
That's woof.
That's not good. But that's okay.
That's pretty rough. No way.
Yeah. They got the guy who did Battle of Bastards and wins a winner.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah,
All right.
I believe that. Hopefully, I believe that. Shy Wizards show up.
Otherwise, it's just weird. What? Next episode title: Giant Milk.
Big giant
rhino
tits.
giant milk.
Thank you for watching The Escape. Oh, Nathan.
Yeah, thank you for watching The Escape Pod.
We'll be back next week with more Game of Thrones bullshit.
I love how this is like we're actually doing like Game of Thrones. Like we're actually committing to doing it.
Yes, no, we have to.
Yeah.
I want to edit a video.
I hear you.
Do you want to edit a video?
We love this episode. What could possibly happen next? At this point I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Right now, you and me, we're Grey Worm and Masani talking about the beach. Like, oh man, like
I can't wait to get to the last episode where like, oh, it's gonna be so beautiful, and then like one of us is gonna die before the season ends.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you so much for watching.
This is wonderful.
We'll see how next week goes. And